Welcome back to my home studio. My name is Jane Fairorth. I'm one of the teachers at West End Yoga in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. Unfortunately, we can't be in the studio these days, so many of the teachers are putting up classes from home for all of you to enjoy. Hopefully, these are helpful to you. Today's class is going to be about grounding. Grounding down and hugging in. Lately, the wind has been whipping up around my house, so it makes me think of how can I settle myself down and how can I pull things in so I feel centered and grounded and stable. So for most of today's class, it'll be around this theme. So start in a seated position. Take a few breaths in and out, just to get yourself centered. As you exhale, pour the energy down towards the ground. Feel your hips heavy into the earth. And my cat Kitten has decided to join us today. You can lay down right there, baby. Good boy. Okay, so now turn so you're on the long edge of your mat and lay down. Nice and comfortable. You can have your feet down on the ground. Notice that there is a slight arch to your low back, and this is your natural arch. Try and maintain that as you're laying here on the ground. And then legs up to the sky. So pouring energy from your heels all the way down into the femur head, so it rests heavily into the pelvic bowl. From here, bend your knees. Flexion in the ankles. Still maintaining the natural arch at the low part of your spine. Bring the hands to your thighs or your lap, however you like to think about it. And as you pull your legs towards you, push your legs away with your hands so that both of these energies are moving towards each other with equal pressure. The moving in of the legs and the pushing away of the thighs. Feel like quite a bit of work in the low belly muscles. And then hug your knees to your chest. Give them a good squeeze. And drop your knees to the right, upper body to the left. Just a nice, easy, simple twist. Come back through center and go the opposite direction. Knees to the left, upper body to the right. Come back through center. Hug your knees to your chest. Now you can start rocking longwise on your spine. Little rocking here and there. Come up to a seated position where you're in a boat pose. If you'd like your toes on the ground, that's fine. If you like your legs raised, that's also fine. No problem. But the low belly muscles are back towards your spine and zip towards your chin. Oh, hi, Kitten. No, you can't knock me over, honey. So this is a great example. Imagine that you've got a cat that wants to come up and knock you over. How do you pull things into the center? How do you ground them down so that you are stable here? And my cat cannot knock me over. Hi, Kitten. If you'd like to, you can move the hands away, place the palms up to the sky. Now move the feet further away from the head. Low boat. Come back up. Kitten, you're really challenging me. Lay down, baby. There you go. Low boat. Come back up. Low boat. Come back up. Cross the ankles. Roll over the knees. Come into child's pose. So, give your belly a lot of space here. Make your knees really wide so the belly can rest in between the knees. Hi, Kitten. And drop your head down to the ground. Oh my goodness. Honey. I've got a nice little cat pillow for my head. Okay, now walk your fingertips very far forward and over to the left edge of your mat. You can be up on tented fingers or flat palms at your call, but getting a nice stretch along the right side waist. Move it through the middle and go to the right edge of your mat. Once again, it could be tented fingers, could be flat palms. Heaviness into the left sitting bone. And then back through center, child's pose. Oh my goodness, kitten, I'm not sure where to go my hand. And then roll up to tabletop. Move through a couple of cat and cows. Try to keep your arm bones long and the shoulders stacked right over the wrist without locking out your elbows. To test your hugging in towards the center, reach the right arm forward, left leg back. Now pick the right toes up off the ground just slightly. You'll have to hug things into the center and reach them to the fingertips and the toes to maintain this. Bring it back down. Take it to the other side. Right leg back, left arm forward. Pick the left toes up off the ground just slightly. Balance on the palm and the knee. Hug things into the center and then stretch them long. Back into neutral. Downward facing dog. My goodness, kitten. And pedal it out. So we're rising up from the ground, nice and slow. Settle into your down dog. Feel the pads of your fingers to the base of your palm. Press down into the ground. At the same time, the balls of your feet press down. If you're one of the people that can touch your heels down at the same time, then feel whatever part of your body is touching the mat, magnetize down to the energy into the earth. And lift your right leg high to the sky, come out to high plank, shoulders right over wrists. If you want to, you can dip down a little bit by bending the elbows 2 or 3 inches. Press back up, 3-legged dog, foot to the ground. Left leg rises, come forward to high plank, dip down if that's in your practice, press up, 3-legged dog, foot to the ground. Big breath in, and let it out. Right leg high to the sky, knee comes forward towards the nose, shoulders right over the wrists. Put the foot down on the ground, drop the left knee down, come up for a lunge. So you're still very close to the ground. You've got the right knee stacked directly over the ankle, the left hip directly over the knee. Pull things into the center. Certainly in your hips, feel this move in, move the shoulders in. Keep things on the center line of the spine. Press the lunge forward, reach the arm bones back. So you've got the back toes untucked. The top of the foot is down on the ground. So you're going to rise up by pressing down. It's rooting down to rise up. Press the right foot down and the top of the left foot down to lift your body up. Lower back down. Fingertips to the ground, half splits. Right toes to the sky. If the floor feels far away, grab a block. There should be a long spine without roundness in the center part. Broad collarbones, close low ribs. You're still hugging things into the center. And put the whole of the right foot down on the ground, the left palm on the ground. Tuck the left toes, lift the hamstring, right arm high to the sky. Right hand down. Three-legged dog, all the way up and back. Bend your knee, open your hip. Straighten the leg, square the hip, foot to the ground. Inhale, breath, left leg rises. Exhale, out to high plank. Shoulders right over wrists. Pull the knee forward. Foot down between the hands. Drop the right knee down. Coming up for the lunge. Left knee directly over the ankle. Right hip directly over the knee. Hug things into the center line so you can get long. Feel the tailbone descend, the crown rise. Reach the arms up. Press the hips forward. Okay, got the top of the right foot down onto the ground. Now you can once again stack the left knee directly over the ankle and press into the foot. Come back down. Half splits. Bring the block to you if that helps the floor feel closer. Sink your hips back. Lift your heart up. Hug things to the center. Get long through the spine. And on the whole of the left foot down on the ground, bring the right palm to the ground, tuck the right toes, lift the hamstrings, stretch the heel back, reach the left arm up. Both hands down to the ground. Take the left leg all the way up and back, bend your knee, open your hip. You can keep a softness in the right knee, but think about sinking the right heel towards the ground. Straighten the leg, square the hip, foot to the ground. Big breath in. Let it out. Look forward, feet to hands. Hanging forward fold. There you go, kitten. Hanging forward fold with your hips, feet about hip width distance. This is probably 6 to 8 inches in between your toes. 6 to 8 inches in between your heels as well. So now sink your hips back, giving more weight to your heels than the balls of your feet. And come up a little bit higher so you feel as though your torso is parallel to the ground below you. Keep the hips sinking back. Move the arms up in a diagonal line, chair pose. So this is way more about the energy of your feet and your hips down towards the ground than it is about the arms to the sky. As a matter of fact, if this does not feel nice in your shoulders, your low back, your neck, or any other part of your body, bring your hands right to your thighs. You're getting all of the same amount of work. Use the arms to press yourself up. Hands to heart center. Inhale, reach high. Exhale, swan dive down to the ground. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, step back, high plank. Hold high plank. If you want to drop your knees, you may certainly drop your knees. And then lower all the way down to the ground. Elbows right over the wrists. Press the tops of your feet down. Straighten your legs so much that you feel your kneecaps come up off the ground. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, lower back down. Inhale, cobra, maybe lifted cobra. Exhale, lower back down. Inhale, cobra, lifted cobra, or upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing. Few breaths in, few breaths out. Inhale, right leg high to the sky. Exhale, knee to nose. Pull forward. foot down to the ground. Now you can drop your left knee. This time have the left toes tucked. Once again, you've got the knee, right knee stacked right over the ankle, the left hip right over the knee. Maintaining a tall, long spine. You're hugging things into the center. You're pressing energy down to hold you solidly here. Reach the arms high to the sky. Now slowly press into both feet so you lift the back knee off the ground just slightly. With an inhale breath, straighten the legs, drop the arms to a T. Exhale breath, lower back down, raise the arms. Turn the palms away, press the air down so you can straighten the legs up. Turn the palms to the sky, reach the arms high as you drop down. Now hands to heart center, straighten the back leg, diagonal line from left heel to the crown, big breath in, and twist towards the right. You can move the left elbow to the outer edge of your right thigh. You could keep the left hand down on the ground and reach the right arm up. All of these are great options. If a block would make this pose feel more accessible, use a block. And then reach forward, crescent lunge once again. Continue back for the back bend. Move the arm bones back. Feel a lengthening along the whole quadricep into the psoas on the left side of your body. And then fingertips down to the ground, step back to plank. Hold plank. Drop your knees if that's better for you. Take a big breath in, shift forward, all the way to the ground. Draw the energy from the earth into the whole part of your body that's touching the ground. Inhale to your back bend. Maybe that's cobra, lifted cobra, or upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing. Left leg high to the sky as you breathe in. Knee to nose as you breathe out. Shoulders right over wrists. Softly plant the foot down. Drop your right knee. Keep the right toes tucked. Left knee over the ankle. Right hip over the knee. Hug things in. Have the hugging in create the expansion in your spine. You can reach the arms all the way up. Okay, now you'll press into the bottom of the left foot and the toes of the right foot to lift your knee off the ground slightly. Turn the palms away from each other, press the air down, stretch the legs straight. Palms towards the sky, push the air up as the legs lower down. Again, palms away, raise up, palms up. Press the air high as the legs lower down. One more time. Lower back down. Arms stay high. You can straighten the back leg. Anjaneyasana. Hands through to heart center. Big breath in. And twist towards the left. Again, you have options wherever you like your hands. Back to full crescent lunge. Hands down to the ground. Step back to plank. Full breath in. As you exhale, shift a little bit forward and all the way down to the ground. Relax. Rock your hips a little bit side to side. Reach the fingertips back. Pads of the fingertips touch the ground. The tip of the nose touches the ground. The tops of the feet touch the ground, but you've straightened your legs so much that your knees lift off the ground. Inhale breath. Move the arm bones towards the sky and the back of the head towards the sky. Keep the pads of the fingers pressed down. Low belly muscles lift up. Maybe the feet lift. Maybe the fingertips lift. Bend the elbows, wrist to the ground, right under the elbows. Push the floor away to your back bend, whether that's cobra or upward facing. Exhale, downward facing. Full breath in, full breath out. Right leg high to the sky. Exhale, knee to nose. Foot down between the hands. Bring the whole of your left foot down to the ground. So it's a warrior 2 foot. You can have a block here outside the right foot or inside the right foot, whichever one works better for you. Emphasize the rolling open of the left hip, but that the right knee stays directly forward. Reach the left arm high to the sky for extended side angle. Long line of the fingers far away from the outer edge of the left foot. You can get lighter on the block, lift yourself up a little bit higher. Use the energy of the earth to propel you up. And warrior 2. Shoulders square on to the long edge of your mat. Right knee directly towards the right edge of your mat. Feel the energy moving out the left edge of your heel. Flip the front palm and radiate the warrior. Keep the right knee stacked directly over the right ankle. Still working with the energy moving down. Keep that happening. Extended side angle once again. Now you can straighten the right leg, reach the left arm to the sky, triangle. If the hand wants a block, have a block. If the hand wants a floor, have the floor. If you're reaching, if you've got the fingertips reaching towards the ground but not touching anything, that's fine as well. And then forward fold. So you're at the center of the long edge of your mat. Turn your right toes so they face towards your left toes. And surrender down. You can bend one knee and then the other. You can bend both knees. This is about energy moving towards the earth, towards the floor. And then turn the left toes towards the left edge of your mat. Step back to plank. And then lower all the way down. Relax for a moment. Hands can be wherever you like them, back towards your feet. Forward for full prostration. Just relax. Set yourself up for locust pose once again. The tops of the feet press down into the ground with dramatic effect. So much that your knees come up off the ground. Pads of the fingers press down. Tip of the nose hits the ground. Lift the arm bones and the back of the head up. Keep the collarbones broad, the low ribs closed. Feet can lift. Pads of the fingers can lift. If you want more here, you can go to T arms or reach the arms forward. Bend the elbows, wrist to the ground right underneath the elbows. Push the floor away to your back bend. Exhale, downward facing. Breathe in, breathe out. Full breath in, full breath out. Left leg high to the sky. Exhale, knee to nose, pull forward. Foot down between the hands, the whole of the right foot down on the ground. First you can be heavy, 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 heavy. The more you pour down towards the ground, the more you'll be able to draw up from the earth. It's rooting down to rising up. And now you roll the right hip up, trying to open the whole of your torso to the left side of your room. Reach the right arm high to the sky, actually to the right side of the room, sorry about that. And reach the right fingertips in direct opposition to the outer edge of your right heel. If you want to get lighter on the block, you can. Lighter on the floor, maybe the fingertips don't even touch anything. And then rise up, warrior two. Concentrate on the heaviness of your pelvis down towards the ground. What energy are you drawing from your feet, through your legs, up to your torso? Flip your front palm, radiate the warrior. Back through to warrior. Extended side angle once again. Triangle from here. Straighten the left leg. Feel as though your torso is a rectangle facing towards the right side of the room. You can have a block underneath your left hand if that feels better. You can keep a slight softness in both knees if that feels better. And forward fold to the center of the long edge of the mat. 10 toes facing slightly towards each other. And now you're in a forward fold. Maybe you're bending both knees, maybe one at a time. And now shimmy your feet so they're closer together. Goddess squat, Malasana. So for the students that are taking this class that know me, they know that Malasana or goddess squat is not my favorite yoga pose. However, I'm of the mind that whatever the yoga pose is that you really don't like very much is probably the one you need the most. So for me, I do Malasana just because I know that it is good for my body. It's good for my hips. It's good for my shoulders. It's good for all of those parts of me. It's especially good for my psyche to engage myself in things that I don't necessarily like, but I can find a way to come to peace with these things and find a good quality about them. Okay, so from your Malasana, where you're using the backs of your arms to keep your knees wide, you're also pressing your knees into your arms. There's this magnetic attraction between the two. Let's move this into an inversion. So for many, that would be crow pose. Hands can come down to the ground. You lean your body forward. Maybe you pick up one foot. Maybe you pick up both. Try and bring the toes towards each other. And come back down. High hero pose, where you're sitting on toes tucked underneath you. So for some people, this can be quite uncomfortable. If it feels really horrible to have your hips sitting on your heels, lean your weight forward a little bit. You'll still get the stretch, but you won't have the intensity. So as you find that you get opening, as the bottom of your feet start loosening up, maybe you can give a little more weight in your hips towards your heels. Eventually you'll be able to sit on your heels like this. It might not be comfortable, but you'll be able to do it. And then release the weight forward. The tops of the feet come down to the ground. Sit your hips back once again. And now you can lean your weight back. Maybe raise one leg and then the other. This is giving a nice little stretch to the tops of your feet. If you find that the tops of your feet get really tight, this is a great thing for you to practice. Nice. And then release forward. Come into downward facing dog. Big breath in. Let it out. Left leg high to the sky. Knee comes forward towards your left thumb and put the foot down on the ground, or put the knee down on the ground. We're moving into half pigeon here, so I get pretty picky about this. The outer edge of your left thigh should be parallel to the outer edge of your mat. Your shin on your left leg is either going to be parallel to the head of your mat, or there will be some degree of angle back towards your right hip. This depends on how open or closed your hips are. Tuck your right toes, pick the leg up, and move your right hip forward, then lower the leg down. Now, I get pretty picky about this as a yoga teacher. Oftentimes you'll see half pigeon where people are really rounded down. If that is your normal way of doing half pigeon, try it this way today, where you are trying to match up the whole of your torso to your thigh. So as I go down, if the lowest part of my torso is hitting the top of my thigh, I'm doing fine. As long as your torso is touching your thigh, you're fine. If you feel like you've got an air bubble here, like a Ziploc bag, stay right there for a little bit. And then take it down. You can stack the forearms and rest your forehead there. Grab a block, rest your forehead there. Feel as though the ground below you is providing the softening for your hips to open. Almost as if you are coming into earth that is clay-like and can mold. If you are very comfortable here and your hips are really open, you can bring your right arm underneath your left, palm facing towards the sky, and bring your right ear to the ground, or your third eye to the ground. And then press yourself back up. Tuck your right toes. Lift the left leg way high to the sky. Bend your knee, open your hip. Anything you want. Hip circles. Straighten the leg, left foot down to the ground. On to the opposite side, right leg high to the sky, knee pulls forward towards the right thumb. Place it down. Again, the outer edge of your right thigh is parallel to the outer edge of your mat. Your shin will have either be, if you have very open hips, you might be parallel to the head of your mat. Depending on how much restriction you have in your hip, you'll have a degree of angle of your right foot towards your left hip. Tuck your left toes, pick the leg up, draw your left hip forward, then drop the knee down and you can untuck the foot. From here, this might be where you stay. On this side of my body, sometimes this is where I stay. However, if you want to see what availability you have, try and lower your torso down towards your thigh as though you're zip-locking the two of them together. Maybe you stay on your forearms. Again, there's this receptivity to the earth below you. You're giving your energy down to the earth and drawing its energy up into you. If on the other side you went for the twist, maybe you tried here. Taking the left arm underneath the right palm facing towards the sky, either the third eye down to the ground or the left ear. And come back through center. Both palms down to the ground. Press yourself up. Tuck your left toes. Lift the right leg high to the sky, taking whatever movement you'd like. And come through to sit. From here, you can lay onto your back. Hug your knees to your chest. Give them a good squeeze. And then send your legs up to the sky. So this is Viparita Karani, or legs up the wall pose, waterfall pose. It's known by many things. For this one, we're going to do an active one. You can have a slight bend in the knees, but flexion in the ankles. Send the energy up, straight up through your heels towards the sky. Feel that pull back down through your toes and center you down into the ground. Nice and heavy. And then widen the knees out. Take the insteps of the feet for happy baby. If it's more accessible to grab behind the knees, that's fine, do that. And hug knees to chest once again. Knees to the right, upper body to the left. Simple twist. Move the knees up towards the sky and over towards the left, upper body towards the right. Into center, hug your knees once again. Legs long for Savasana. For your Savasana, be heavy, very, very heavy. Let your body be easy. As you breathe out, settle the whole of your body more deeply into the ground. Imagine once again you're at the banks of a river and it's either mossy or clay-like, something very receptive. And as you lay down in the banks of this river to relax, not only is the whole of your physical body molded into this bank, so is the whole of your emotional body and your intellectual body, your spiritual body. Feel yourself resting into this place heavily, drawing energy from the earth below you. Take a slow breath in. Soften your jaw, ease the air out. Move your body however you'd like. Eventually your head side to side, and stretch your fingers far away from your toes. Hold your knees to your chest. Roll over to whichever side of your body is the best for you. Makes you feel the most safe, the most supported, the most foundation. And come up to sit. A moment to feel your body in space. Your body densely, heavily grounded here. You pull the energy in, you move the energy down to give yourself a foundation. Thank you for practicing with me today. For those of you who normally follow us in the studio, we're very sad that we can't see you there. We're happy to be able to offer these classes to you for free. If you have it in your means, you could support us on our website, which is patreon.com/westendyoga. That is patreon.com/westendyoga. Have a great day. Namaste.